Hi there again, Jeb Hall coming from HQ, also known as Man Cave, also known as my pouting house. And it's still raining outside and the rivers are on the rise, so I've moved from olive soft tackles and I'm knocking off Kevin's Trip Saver, tying it as a jig style nymph. But what I want to talk to you about now is our dubbing loops and using a dubbing brush and making your own dubbing blend. I showed you some different styles of dubbing earlier. You can actually make your own dubbing blends by simply taking two different types of dubbing. Here we have a synthetic and a natural, and just blending them together. It's that easy. And you can take whatever color you want, whatever style you want. Some dubbings don't blend as well as others. In that case, you can use a coffee grinder. I don't want to ruin our coffee grinder by doing that right now. And I don't have a spare currently. So we're just gonna mix this up. But you can do that. You can add other stuff to it as well. You could chop up some feathers and put it in there. You could put some Flashabou in there. Just about whatever you want to put in there. So now I think that's kind of a nice blend for what I want to do. So now we're going to dub by using a dubbing loop. Now a dubbing loop is easy to make. You just simply take your thread, bring it out here, fold it over your finger, come into your hook shank and just wrap back over it. Kind of like you're tying onto the hook with your thread. And once you've done that, you've locked this loop in, and just wind your thread on up to where your dubbed body is going to end, or your section of dubbing is going to end. And then we want to use a dubbing twister. This is a Petitjean, Mark Petitjean dubbing twister. This one's super fancy. The shepherd's hook style, the traditional style, works quite well, as do the hex twisters, the heavy brass ones that look like little UFOs. I like this one. So now that I've hooked my dubbing twister up to my thread, I'm going to take a little bit of this dubbing wax and apply to my thread. Dubbing wax comes in several consistencies. There's tacky, super tacky, stick your car to your driveway tacky. This one's kind of on the less tacky side. You don't need much, just kind of get it on your thread there, and it just puts a little more wax on your thread, and that's going to help hold your dubbing in the loop. And then once I've done that, I can go ahead and insert my dubbing blend into the loop, and you can see I'm just putting a little bit of tension on there. And notice we can dub with more than just wisps on this one. And once I think I have enough in my thread there, with this one we're going to lock it into place, and then we're going to twist it up. You want to be careful when you're using a dubbing twister. Don't twist it too tight, especially if you're using finer thread. And I always tend to use finer thread, because you'll break the thread if you put too many twists in it. So now I think I have a pretty good dubbing rope right there. And I'm going to take my dubbing brush, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of a flick with my brush just to comb out some fibers. Then I'm going to go ahead and start winding the body. Here's a great reason to buy a rotary vise. It's a little easier to apply a longer dubbing loop like this to your fly. You can see that filled in fairly fast there on my jig. So the nice thing about a dubbing loop, unlike winding it onto the thread, is that you can tie this off just like it's a piece of chenille. And then just trim it right off there. You have a dubbed body And now I'm going to wind my wire forward. Up to there. I'm going to lock that down. Break it off. Don't ever cut it with your scissors. I don't care what people say. It will ruin your scissors, especially if you're rocking the nice ones. Then after I've done that, I'm just going to give my fly another little brushing here. You can kind of get into that bottom end or the fine end. This is a metal brush. The plastic brush is a little more user friendly. This thing will roast your thread if you hit your thread with it. But it kind of grabs that stuff a little bit better. Get a little trim there. So you can see now I have a really buggy body from using a dub and loop as opposed to twisting it onto the thread, and I'm able to comb out the fibers more. So that's dubbing loops and blending dubbing and dubbing brushes and dubbing wax. So now you kind of have an idea of how all that works. And I'm going to get back to these jig savers, and we'll talk about how to split thread next time.